Alright, so welcome back to Space Elevator again. This is time-lapse episode 22, and here comes the context for this episode. Alright, so first things first, did a bit of a change out of my prison suit into this new suit here. Well, it's not new, but new to me wearing it, yes. It's the proper spacesuit or proper suit with the tint of orange on it. Yeah, usually my character colors are orange, but my first full set for a Space Engineer suit was the prison suit, so that's why I've been wearing that for the bulk of the time. But I think I'm gonna change to my original colors, which is a bit of an orange. Not liking it that much, but we'll make do with it for now. And no, it's not for Halloween colors, it's just the basic orange that I normally use for most games and character customization, things like that. So let's stick back to my roots. So we're gonna change it to this and stick with it for now. Let me know if you like it. If not, drop a comment down below. Today's episode was made to drill as much iron and stone and whatever the case is to get as much materials so we can continue on trucking with this whole welding right here. So as you see, we're about 22 kilometers away, but we did run into a few problems here and there. I wanted to clean up the rail system, so I was calling this the maintenance of the rail system, or maintaining the rail system, to ensure that we get rid of some of the piping, cylindrical columns, things like that, and then reproject it, and so we can have a nice clean projection of all that. But the game said no. It's not going to allow me to do that, because once I separate from the grid, blueprint it is no longer taking the tail end to be the starting position from the projector. So it takes somewhere in the middle. So I lose a lot of length in that grid. I think it's because it's too long that it defaulted somewhere in the middle somewhere. I think there's a sweet spot, which is, I think, I don't recall exactly what the number is, but probably 1,000 in terms of length. So we're gonna have to live with an older projection, which is pretty far, as you see there, which is pretty good. But the problem is it has these piping system on the edges and such. So we need to continue to maintain those pipes and everything like that to ensure that we don't have too many of them, and that we have clearance for our space elevator or monorail system. So another bulk of the episode was basically doing this, which is to maintain the rail system, taking out all the little pipes here if we can. And we did it with our hand tool and or our multi-tool, and that kind of worked a little bit. Well, it worked okay. When I did it by hand like this, such as I go too fast and pretty much clothesline myself to death and having to spawn from like the skybox or something like that. So we eventually will have to continue to do this, because that we can't project the length of it anymore. So we're gonna have to live with it for now. I mean, we could create some kind of rail rider that has a grinder to take these out too, if you want to do that. And yeah, it's getting to the point where we disconnect anything from the grid, it's gonna get slightly laggy. But yeah, we're 22 kilometers away. Not too bad. 60 something more to go still. But we're getting to the point where we're pretty much up there in terms of like where we are in terms of gravity and atmosphere. We're not out of the gravity at all yet, but we're getting close. And a suggestion from the comments was to use the original conveyor tubes, because that gives a little bit more clearance than the pipes. Yes, it does. And of course, I'm going to take that suggestion and run with it. Alright, so from there on out, we cleared out everything over here, as you see. So I'm pretty sure I can just go this close to it and not get clothesline and kill myself in that sense. So, until we get to this projector right here, but we could take out this projector because we don't need it anymore. So this piping was the original projector, so we can take this one out. We don't need this. We could just maintain this off of here. And it's taking a lot of materials, a lot of steel plates to do the platform. I put in a full large car container of materials, and I think that only got me about 2 kilometers, or maybe even less. But it's a lot of steel plates to get this thing up and running. So imagine doing this with either blast doors or heavy armor blocks. That would be slightly ridiculous in a way. All right, so we're pretty far ahead, and the other main point of today's episode was mining. All right, so we did a little bit of manual mining and then a little bit of automated mining, and right here was a bit of a automated mining, but it looks like we got stuck, or we are stuck somewhere for some reason, I think. Not sure why. But this thing should have just kept on going around and around and around. And it looks like it did for the most part, but I'm a little curious as to why it stopped where it stopped. Or is it actually moving and just really, really slowly? No, it is moving. It's really, really slowly. So that's what that is. Okay, so we're gonna change this rotor. I think it's a very slow speed, so it went around fully already. It's going at 0.05. So I'm gonna put this back to 0, and let's bring this thing all the way back a bit over here. That might do it. Yeah, that should be fine. All right, so I'm gonna extend one piston a little bit. I don't know why I fully extended or not, but it looks like I'm gonna have to get rid of the spotlight because that's gonna be a problem. So this whole drilling rig here, I drilled in forward a little bit so I have more space, and I try to do a more circular drill system right over here, a bit of a checkerboard style, kind of, not very, very close to it. I mean, it could get rid of the middle one. We made enough space so that I can put in the drills, the pistons like this, so that we could do a bit of a rotation and kind of collect all the iron that we can without having to monitor it too much. I think this is the length of the piston, and it should be good to go. And we could set, we're probably gonna have to set this thing a lot slower than 0.05. So let's just do 0.02 in this case, or should be negative to go forward. The negative 0.02. So it's gonna be a slow process, but I think we need it to be that slow to go around the whole entire thing, gather all this iron, and then it's gonna gather some stone too. But that's the risk you gotta take, or thing you have to do in order to get all the iron out of it anyways. And there's still a lot more down here, so we got to figure that out. But that's what we did here. A bit of a automation mining, a little manual and automated mining to get as much of the iron out as possible. And we did a significant amount of iron now in the whole entire system. It's gonna take some time to refine it, but we did need to ramp up production for the steel plates because the whole welding system is taking a rather long time. Alright, so I do enjoy the comment section and the suggestions, and let me cut this tree down really quick. Actually, get that out of the way. And a lot of suggestions were to put some lighting, some blocks here so it looks nice while the monorail or tram system comes through. And definitely a good idea. Definitely gonna do that somehow. I think I'm gonna initially attach it to rail system, bring it down and surround it just to make it even, and then just remove it off the rail system. I think I could do that. In the rail system, it's a little tilted versus the ground here, so that might be a little bit of a risky thing to do, but it should be okay. So we'll do that eventually, not today. And as you see here, we cut down as much of the piping as we can because we don't really need it. We are connected by the iron base 2 and the ice lake for now. We could probably add a few more, but we should be using the pillars more than anything else. So instead of using cylindrical columns, original conveyor tubes, and piping, we could use this to connect, and that's going to give us a lot more leeway in the connection piece there. But yeah, back at base, we updated this rig a little bit, the monorail, to have the conveyor junction with piping to a connector. We definitely need to charge this thing up and put more batteries in here. Put a little bit of hydrogen engines, a little bit more, because this thing eats so much batteries. And once the batteries are eaten up, we get a nice, fun, bouncing style off of this hover engine. So that's what kind of caused this damage right over here as well. So it starts bouncing because it has no power, gains power, no power, gains power from the hydrogen engine, and it can't keep up with the power usage. So I'm gonna have to add just a tiny more batteries and make sure they're recharged and have the hydrogen engines kind of charge the batteries and everything like that too. It's definitely a necessity in this case so then it doesn't bounce around and break anything. I'm not sure how I'm going to connect this connector elsewhere, but for now I think it should be fine leaving it like this so that we have some kind of connection point at least back at base. And of course, other than that, we did lose our rail rider. I was trying to let it loose and then bring it down, but I brought it down the hard way by accidentally reconnecting to the connector with the hover engines on, and it clanged out and flew out into the ground. So that was that. So long, rail rider. We could probably remake it to a ship or hovercraft or something like that eventually, but for now it's no go, gone deal for the time being. Also, did remove the survival kit to the medical room here, so we could charge a little faster without power and healing, and also so that I could change my suit here. I don't know. I'm okay with the orange. It's a little bit off to me. I mean, it could be like a darker orange if anything. I don't know. I'll leave it for now. But yeah, it's the proper suit that I have here. Proper helmet, proper suit, things like that, proper boots. But yeah, we also have the ghost suit, and these are from like the DLCs and new skins and things like that. I like the tuxedo one, but again, the prison suit is the one I collected myself off of all the unknown signals. So that's my first set that I got myself, really. I do have the skeleton and newspaper one that's also pretty cool, but I don't have the full set and it's a little bit mixed in there. But I'll keep it like this for now. I mean, if it looks odd to you guys, let me know. So then I can change it. Not a big deal. But I want to change it to something other than a prison suit because I didn't care to look like a prisoner no more in this case. Alright, so other than that, we were working a lot on trying to get the rest of this iron right here. And for whatever reasons, there's a ton of iron back here that I didn't even really notice how far it goes. So we did a lot of drilling downwards. We went in circles a little bit, and all the iron is here. And I did have my hinge flapping drilling system, but when I came back to the base at one point, it literally just broke. So that didn't work out. So I made a manual system right here to control with the control panel, so I could just, easily manipulate it if anything. Nothing too crazy. Just based on the names and everything. So there's like the old traditional way of maneuvering your things, but I'm actually used to this a lot more than turning it into like a custom turret controller or whatever the case is. I mean, it's a little bit more steps, but not too bad. All right, that's evened out, and then back to my control panels, like piston rig is what I call this, and then I just go velocity 0.08. So we want to go a little slow because it kind of makes a clangy sound. I'm not sure it's gonna break or not, but I don't want it to. So try to make sure it doesn't. I think most of our cargo containers may be filled with stone and stuff like that. We still got some space, I think. Yeah, not a lot. Decent amount. That's fine. So this is gonna gather this iron right over here, and it looks like there's a lot more up top. and I don't know what to do about that. We could probably just lift this up a little bit and get all the stone and everything and get the iron, so that wouldn't be a bad thing. Or we go from the top and drill down a hole right over here. That's another possibility. But that's a lot of iron that we're just taking in. But of course, a lot of it's going to steel plates into the rail system as well. So we'll let that kind of mine, and we have our refineries refining all that it can as well. So our refineries here kind of like full of stone, iron, things like that. And of course, I think we are running out of ice for power. Yeah, we're getting to that point where we're running out of ice. We don't have, what, 100,000's worth of ice anymore. We have a bunch of them in the O2H2 generator, but we're still relying on the hydrogen tanks here too, so it's not too bad. We have here a couple full ones. The ice lake has a bunch of them as well. So definitely still have a bunch of power left. Here's our batteries right here for the bases. We definitely should put more batteries, to be honest, but that's looking not too bad. And that's it for today. Lots of mining, a lot of progression with the welding rig, so we can get as far as we can. Looks like I got 23 right there. 23.7. That's a pretty good distance away. And definitely clearing out most of the piping system. This thing works out pretty well. We definitely don't need a rail rider anymore, because we could use this if we had to maneuver this thing back and forth to get to the welding rig. It's not too bad. Or to just fly any other ship as well. So I might rebirth the rail rider, because that thing looks pretty cool. Looks like it's some parts of it's right here. I could definitely remake it, but without the bottom piece that hangs out from the side, and fly it around, I think. We'll think about it, because we have so many ships here anyway, so we don't really need it. I could just fly this one, the ore finding ship. Large good ship. Has decent speed, of course. All of them have decent speed. They all max out at 100 meters per second, basically. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this episode, this context. If you did, you guys know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and of course, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.